out before the closure of schools. There will be no extracurricular activities taking place beginning today. Stay safe, Bearcats. Wash your hands, and we will see you in 2 weeks. Thank you.
On March 12, 2020, the San Mateo School Board voted to shut down all schools in the district for what's now become 4 weeks in an effort to stop the spread of the coronavirus. The next day, students came to school one last time before their quarantine began. We interviewed students and teachers from San Mateo High on this day to hear their thoughts on the sudden shutdown and the virus. Here are their takes.
I'm Alina Kudia and I'm a junior. I'm definitely a bit more concerned because at first people were joking, but now it's kind of, oh, school is closing, so it's actually kind of getting affected. Like it started so far away and now it's kind of getting to us.
Hi, I'm Mayank and I'm a sophomore.
I'm Aditya and I'm also a sophomore. I think that it's a good measure on the school to be precautionary instead of reactionary because, there's no point in letting students get affected.
This was inevitable because eventually schools would have to close down because the spread is increasing. It's becoming increasingly prevalent in our communities.
I'm Saf and I'm a sophomore.
Basically, all school operations are gone. What's your first thoughts?
No school. Everyone wants to go home, right? But it's helpful because it will stop the spread of the virus. But they should have taken action earlier.
I cannot speak for other people, but I feel relieved because I've been worried a lot.
Yeah, it takes 2 weeks for the symptoms to show, so you wouldn't know.
I've never been through things like this, so I've been telling kids that we are making history.
My name is Nathan Bassman, and I'm a junior at San Mateo High School. My initial reaction wasn't really that big of a deal. I can't say I was happy or sad about it. It doesn't impact me that much. I think the online schooling is going to be all right. It's just filling out the homework online, but I think it's going to free me up to do a lot more things, which is good.
Sally Seabody, I teach chemistry and AP chemistry. So the biggest thing is, as a lab science, it becomes a very different experience because now you're at home doing, online searches, problems, but it's certainly not a wet lab with your peers discussing and figuring things out together.
There's no substitute for being able to monitor students in class. Like I said, particularly for my ELD students who need a lot of support and a lot of motivation that just cannot create that digitally. So I have a lot of fears about that.
Of course, we'll continue good education through online. We'll do everything that we can to make sure that students get the best education that they can.
We've done a lot with Canvas, and so that can be transferred into an online course, but it's never been directed as, how do you actually teach a whole online course?
My name is Jaslyn Santos Aguilar, and I'm a sophomore. It's hard because you're not going to all your classes, and because you feel lonely.
Don't die!
My name is Christopher Mahoney, and I'm a junior. No, I think it's actually really important that people do respect the quarantine. It completely invalidates it if you go out and have house parties and stuff. And I understand the temptation, but I think it's really important that the student body comes together and really, respects people who want to really take this seriously. And I think everyone should.
I also think that it's going to be severely impeded by the fact that people are really just going to treat it like a break, pretty much. They're just going to hang out with their friends.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think most people don't really understand the science behind it and the whole thing about flattening the curve.
In terms of other students, I definitely know that kids are going to be going out, they're going to be throwing parties, they're going to be hanging out. I have heard about a coronavirus-themed party, which I highly advise students do not attend because it would be super ironic if you did catch coronavirus at a coronavirus-themed party.
Joey Salville, 10th grade. Yeah, I might self-quarantine for a little bit. But if things are popping, I'll see. Yeah.
And the point of this is it's not a break, it's isolation.
My name is Michael Peakey. I'm a 12th grader. Because I'm the ASB president, a lot of the first thoughts I had were, how am I going to continue with the elections? Because there's 3 runoffs we have to do. All the leadership applications are going through right now. So trying to get all that done, along with just about every single event we have for the second semester, is like, we don't know if it's going to happen. So it feels like all this hard work we've put in the summer and the first semester to get to this point has like not been a waste, but just like we can't celebrate at the end of it. So those are kind of like my first thoughts.
So our track season has also been postponed for now. We were supposed to have a couple of meets we had 3 meets in the next week. All 3 of those have been canceled, and we have a feeling our track season might be canceled completely.
Mr. Labby. I am a physical education teacher and junior varsity head baseball coach. I had a feeling that eventually we might get to that point. At the end of the day, the safety of the students is the most important thing, and I think that it was the right thing to do, and it was bound to happen. And while I speak for everybody involved in sports, we're super disappointed about it, but it is certainly necessary to happen.
And things like sports, when things are like that are canceled, I think it's kind of robbing seniors of an important part of their lives in high school, which is really unfortunate.
It sucks. Yeah, it sucks a lot. Sorry. Yeah.
I mean, I personally, I think I'm most disappointed about the possibility that a proper graduation might not take place. I think that the past 4 years, what you really look forward to is being able to walk the stage and celebrate with your classmates because you earn that. And I think that that's particularly upsetting to me. And I mean, aside from that, all the other things that we have earned as seniors, those being in jeopardy, that's really a disappointing feeling. So
yeah, what's the weirdest part of it to me is just the idea that today could be my last day of senior year. Just thinking from 5 o'clock last night, I was thinking I had a month and a half more.
Yeah.
I'm planning prom, I'm planning senior activity day, all these things I'm looking forward to. And then it's tomorrow could be the last day you're walking the halls as a student type thing. That's really freaky.
What advice or words would you give to people right now when it comes to maintaining or staying calm?
I would just say that make sure that you give time for yourself to relax, not stress over everything. Make sure that you spend time with your families while you have this opportunity to spend time with your families. Don't overwhelm yourself and dive too much into social media and the news and all these things, because you really can overstress yourself out. So it is important to watch the news and keep up to date with things, but don't just dive into it and read about it and for hours and hours and watch the news for hours and hours, and don't overworry yourself.
FaceTime your friends, make Discord servers, play video games, find, get creative with the ways that you're interacting with each other, because the typical modes of interaction are going to be in a lot of ways impossible or hard to do or dangerous to do. But
what's keeping me sane about this is I know that staying out of school, keeping interaction to a minimum, social distancing, that's just going to better things and better the possibility of the disease not spreading, so that next year we can start college at a normal time and that kind of thing. Just doing everything that we can to normalize our lives, even if it seems that's just not possible.
Yeah, and I mean, another thing is we're not in it alone by any means. Even just in California, across the country, people are doing this. It's really gonna be widespread.
Yeah,
yeah. It's gonna be more normal than it feels now, I think, soon. Yeah.
But stay safe. That's the most important thing, is stay safe. Don't underestimate this, because it is very serious. Because while a lot of us who are young and healthy it might not be deathly to us. There's a less chance of it being deathly to us. We certainly could give it to our grandparents and to other people who are a little bit more susceptible of dying from it. So it's a very serious time. So just be safe.